Building.
I do believe we're on the air.
We are, Gordy, live and on the air.
Hey, we're at Jana's.
Jana's Marketplace, yes. Come on down, folks. Have a delicious lunch or breakfast. You can get either one served any time of the day. You can get eggs in the afternoon, or you can get a cheeseburger for breakfast. So whatever you'd like, come on down to Jana's Market. They got a lot of great items, excellent soups. Number one thing they sell, though, salads. Oh, they got a chef salad even I like, and I'm not a salad guy, but I do get it quite often just because it's so darn good. So come on down, folks. Jana's Marketplace, self-service restaurant. Order it up, take it home, eat here, or you can get it to go, take it home, and heat it up in the microwave at your home or office.
So convenient. I had biscuits and gravy this morning. I still have half a plate sitting on my desk at work because I didn't get her done before I got down here.
And their biscuits and gravy are tasty.
And all I got to do is throw it right back in the microwave for about a minute, and they'll be just as good as new.
That is true. That is true.
That's one of the beauties of Jana's. Those take-home meals. You know.
Absolutely. So, you want to talk a little sports today?
Absolutely. The cross-country teams at the state meet, even as you and I are speaking right now.
That's a chilly one, but good for them. This is a big day for them, so we wish everyone on the Falcons cross-country team, ladies cross-country team, big success over in Northfield. And
come out next week. Look forward
to hearing the results.
Yep, next week on Veterans Day. Hopefully they'll stop by and say hi to us.
That would be swell. That would be swell. So... well, let's talk a little bit of tennis. The tennis season is over. The Lady Falcons had a very, very good season.
I thought they were going to come back and talk to us.
I did too, but maybe they are just sleeping in today, and maybe they'll come back next week and give us a recap. But they did have their team awards banquet, I guess you would call it, and they got a lot of good stuff out of this here. Their managers. Adam Diaz-Coons, Colin Hafes, and Landon Shepard, all lettered. I didn't even know you could letter as a manager, but I think that is cool. You?
I can't remember if our manager's lettered or not.
Yeah. Well, anyway, congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you for managing and supporting the Lady Falcons there. Other letter winners include Hannah Shepard as an 8th grader. She lettered as an 8th grader. I think that's outstanding.
That's cool.
Beata Christensen, you're going to have to help me on some of these names, Gordy, I'm sure, but Whitney Huberty, Annika Sterling, Leah Nowasowski. I am so sorry, Leah, but that's as close as I can come, but good job on getting that letter. And then Grace Brazil lettered, and she got the captain's letter. Gabby Temple lettered. Stacy Petrushka, captain's letter also. Good job. Lindsay Rauenhorst. Is that correct? Close, Gordy?
I believe so.
He's nodding his head, yep. Lindsay Rauenhorst lettered and got the captain's letter. Now, this is the coolest thing. Academic All-State Award for 3.5 or better GPA in the 12th grade. So that is very, very cool. And then Haley Reavers lettered and captain's letter. And then for team awards, the Academic Award, Class AA Silver Award with a team GPA average between 3.5 and 3.75. So excellent job, ladies, Falcon tennis players. We hope to see you again, wrap up your season, and look forward to seeing most of you play next year because there's only a couple of seniors. So
they might not have won the section in the sport of tennis, but they were the smartest team in the section.
Well, they're up there anyway. They are certainly up there, and you can't argue with that success at all.
And what do you go to high school for?
Play tennis, of course.
No.
Oh, you don't go to high school to play sports? I don't know.
Well, you can, but
you can.
It should be for fun, not for...
That is true. I'm going to show the wrestlers a little love, too. Wrestling is just around the corner. The high school team starts up right after the 1st of December.
Yeah, Jim Beckmann had a few wrestlers on his football team.
Yeah, well, they get about a month off before they
I'm sure he loves it, too, because those guys know about leverage.
Yes, leverage and fitness and, everything. But the Little Falcons, our Little Falcon wrestlers, their season started just this week. So if you have a young person out there that you think would enjoy wrestling, get them involved in the Little Falcons wrestling program. It'd be outstanding to get them in there and get them growing all the way through the season. Because just like tennis, a lot of wrestlers, they can wrestle on varsity 7th, 8th, 9th grade. So bring them out, guy. Bring them out, parents. Get them going early. Well, what else you got?
Won't be long. Be talking wrestling.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, they start right after the 1st of December, so their season is just around the corner. I would
Which means so is boys and girls basketball.
Basketball, yep, that is
correct.
correct.
So is hockey.
Hockey, yep. So a bunch of sports end and a bunch of sports begin. It's kind of a nice rotation.
Well, we're not quite done with volleyball and football yet. State tournaments are next week.
Yep, that is true.
But soccer ended this past week, too.
Ooh, how did our soccer team do?
We should have had them come by.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Well, we've extended invitations.
And I would like to point out that I am wearing my Faribault Falcons clay target shirt today. We have a clay target team, commonly known as trap shooting, but skeet shooting, has a few different names, and I'm sure there's slight differences. But
BA has one, too.
Yep. But I am proudly wearing my Faribault Falcons clay target team shirt.
How'd you get that?
Bought it. And we did have I had a son, Ren. My son, Ren, he was on the shooting team when he was in high school. So,
how'd he do?
I don't even remember. That was too many years ago. I don't even remember what I had for lunch yesterday. And Ren was shooting targets probably back 6-7 years ago. So, sorry, bud, but I don't know.
You don't remember, huh?
No, I don't remember. If you want, I could say he did great. He averaged 23, 24, I'm sure.
I've been told.
That's by my memory.
I've been told that the state's tournament is something to behold. They're in Alexandria, and they have all those what you call them, houses.
Yeah, yep. That'd be fun to see sometime. I never did see him in competition for that.
Oh, I was asked to broadcast, and I don't know, a play-by-play of a trap shooting thing might be they pull the,
Yeah, I wonder what that would sound like if you had to call play-by-play. Yeah, play-by-play on a trap team. But well, we got Mr. Reliable here.
Jim Beckmann, the head coach of the Cardinals. Their season tragically came to an end, if you're a Cardinal fan, of course. And Jim, I guess it was a really exciting game against Kenyon Wanamingo.
Yeah, it was. We knew it would be a tough, challenging game. Kenyon gave us everything that we could handle when we saw him in the regular season. And, one of the hardest things to do is beat a team twice in a season. So they came and, they did their usual. They got quite the running game, and Van Epps is just almost impossible to stop. He's quite the athlete. So we struggled to slow down their running game. We were in it. It was kind of a heartbreaker. Probably I made the wrong decision at the end. They scored to go up by 4, and we had like 3:38 left. I had 3 timeouts. They kicked off, and they didn't want to kick it off to my return guys because we'd gotten to the 45-50 on the 2 previous returns. So I went out of bounds, and I opted to re-kick it. And the paper said he planned to do an onside kick. I think it just came off his foot like a rocket. It hit my front line guy, bounced right back to the Kenyon guy. They recovered, and then we just couldn't stop him. And they burned up the last 3 minutes of the game. So, maybe it would have been different if I'd just taken it to 35 and, we tried to go 65 yards. But those are the things that happen in a football game, and you can't control it, and just the way it works.
Well, you have to make a split-second decision literally there, right? Yeah,
it's like, well, do I go for 65 or do we, back them up 5 yards and maybe get the ball at the 40 or 45? So, it's a whole lot easier to score from the 50-yard line than it is from your own 35. So,
correct.
Especially with three and a half minutes left. So.
And you had 3 timeouts, you said.
Yeah, and I had 3 timeouts. So I was like, well, let's. And like I said, we'd had really good returns, all day. So, great on Kenyon. They made the play, and we didn't. And if we could have stopped them, forced a 4 and out, we still would have had enough time left, maybe to take a few shots towards the end zone, but we just couldn't slow down that offense. And of course they had the momentum at that time. So, season ended, and, it's always sad when the season ends. But as I told my boys, as I tell them every year, there's only one team that's happy at the end of the school year or into the football season. That's whoever the state champion is, because it ends the same way for every team other than the state champion. So, I mean, unfortunately for Kenyon last night, they experienced what we experienced last Saturday afternoon. I'm sure they had the same emotions last night when, it clicked down and they lost to Fillmore Central last night.
Yep.
So it's just tough, but that's competition. That's what you do.
14-0 was the final score in that game. And Fillmore Central, you think, has a shot at winning it all?
Yeah, I think so. They're really, they're good at everything they do. They got a really good passing game. They got a pretty good running game. Their special teams are solid. But, when you get down to those last 8 teams, everybody's good. And it really goes down to a little bit of luck and timing and, which way the ball bounces. Last night Fillmore Central got a good bounce on, I think it was a punt where they got the ball and they kind of fumbled it, but fortunately for them it went out of bounds. Otherwise Kenyon probably would have recovered that. There's just a couple plays like that, and that's the way it goes. That when you get to this level, small mistakes just get magnified tremendously. So everybody's got to be at their best on every play. So
that's true. How many seniors were on your team this year?
I had 11 seniors this year,
which is quite a few.
Yeah, so it's the most seniors I've had in my 5 years as a head coach. Usually I've got between 4 and 6, so that's probably one of the reasons we had a lot of success the last couple of years. The same group of guys, basically all of them have been starters as sophomores. Juniors last year were able to get to the section championship game and got beat by Fillmore, and then, this year we really wanted to repeat that, but that's the way it goes.
Yes, Roy.
Hey, Coach, how many of those 11 or 12 seniors played both sides of the ball?
I had everybody except Joseph Kunze, who this is only his second year playing. He came out as a junior last year. Had never played football before. He kind of got the bug. He'd been in the weight room a lot, and I kind of talked him into coming out for football as a junior. And then after junior year, he pounded the weights in the off season. He got strong, he got fast, and we put him on the offensive line. I just didn't think, a guy's second year, probably don't need to have him playing both ways because it's a pretty big step up. Even I had a sophomore that I started at left tackle. I pretty much played him only on the offensive line this year just because it's a big step when you go from, not playing much to all of a sudden you're playing both ways. So
does the guy that came out as a junior, does he play other sports?
I think he's playing rugby now.
Rugby,
but he hasn't.
Wow.
I don't believe he plays anything else. Just he's a super nice young man. If he hadn't played, I don't think we would have had the success we had this year because he was kind of that missing spot on the hole. I put him in at right guard. Him and Michael Crone were just a devastating duo on blocking on the right side, on double teams, scraping up to get linebackers. So, and that's what you need. You just need guys that'll come out and step up. And I'm hoping that I can talk a few more of these young guys at BA because there's a lot of boys there that don't play football or don't play sports, and you never know. You get that opportunity and you can contribute to a team. And I think Joseph had fun and
good deal.
Obviously,
good deal.
Got some great friends out of the deal.
Now you're a pretty big guy. Have you ever played rugby?
No, that's too rough for me.
Yeah.
Those guys are crazy.
They don't wear pads,
Yeah, I'd like to know what the concussion rate in rugby is. I almost wonder, if it's lower because they have a lot of contact, a lot of close contact, in the scrums and stuff, but
not a lot of full speed stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we teach what's called the rugby tackling just because it's the best way to teach guys to tackle and keeps your head out of the game. And so
keeps your head out of the game. Now, that's something you don't hear a coach say very often.
Yeah, because the last thing you want is have any contact at all on a football player's head. So
no, and you're talking literally keeps the head out of the game, whereas most of the time the coach says, keep your head in the game. Keep your head in the game.
So we're talking
psychological,
the literal word.
We're talking literal.
You don't want contact on your head. So
my coach always used to say, Cosville, get your head out of your.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before
I
too.
heard that a few times from John Gallardi when I was playing for him.
I heard it a lot. I wake him in the middle of the night with those. Seriously, I heard it a lot. Anyway, Jim, successful season. I know you guys wanted to get a couple of steps farther, maybe even a state championship. You certainly legitimately had a team that could have done that.
Yeah, every team wants to get to the state championship and win it. I mean, that's a dream of every kid. I mean, when I played high school, that was the dream I had. Obviously, didn't get there. Every one of these boys, every year that I've coached, that's what everybody wants to do. But I don't think people understand how hard that is. I mean, just to get to the state tournament is really, really hard. I mean, just look at our section. You've got Fillmore, Kenyon, us, Goodhue. I think at one time, and maybe even what the season-ending QRF is, I think we had those four teams were in the top 15 in the state. So you think about how hard it is to get out of even our section. And there's other sections that are that, same way where they got multiple teams in the top 10, top 20.
In I can't remember the name of the district. The way they name these districts is crazy. Can you remember the name of your district?
Only because I just put it into some award stuff. It's Mid-Southeast, and we're in the east side of the Mid-Southeast.
They're the Mid-Southeast District. East Division.
I grew up in South Dakota. You know what ours was? ESD, Eastern South Dakota.
I like that.
It was the entire east half of the state.
Every year I got to look it up because I can't remember.
Well, they change the names every year, too. I don't understand that either.
Every 2 years they reshuffle the teams in and out and rebuild it. And we used to have a red, white, and blue. Now we've got East and West, and East and West is divided into two groups. And it's like,
and legitimately, Jim, the Gopher Conference could have a football conference. All your schools are about the same size.
Yep. I mean, that's what we were years ago, but I also know why they did this. I mean, and I remember back in 2013, BA had to drive out to Wisconsin somewhere to get our eighth game in.
I remember I did the game.
Because teams would I'm not fielding a team. I remember one year St. Clair, literally the first day of practice, they called them and said, yeah, we're not going to field a varsity team this year. Well, now everybody's got a hole in their schedule. I remember in 2011, we scheduled a 9-man team because we had a hole in the schedule and ended up driving way up north somewhere to play a 9-man team. So, I think the districts makes the scheduling easier. I think maybe we could align it a little bit differently, but, I'm not in charge and I just make it work.
But Cannon Falls is playing Triton Thursday in the state tournament, and also Caledonia's in that same district. So 3 teams out of the same district are in the state tournament. That is amazing.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how good football is down here in southeast Minnesota. There's a lot of really good football teams and really good football players. So it's tough.
Yeah, that's why you like coaching it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was easy, it wouldn't be any fun. You like the challenge and trying to scheme and figure it out and do what you need to do. From week to week. So
you can have a lot back next year, or you got to really rebuild? Or
I think we're going to be doing a lot of rebuilding. We'll have a lot of young guys out there. Like I said, we got 11 seniors that are going to be graduating this year. So the good news is opportunities for a lot of these young guys. I got some really good guys that'll be sophomores and juniors next year that are going to be able to step up into starting roles. And, hopefully we'll have a little bit of success. They'll learn and grow. And then, 2 and 3 years from now, maybe we'll be back to where we were. But it's going to be tough. I mean, I'm not going to have big numbers, and we got a lot of young guys that'll have to do some growing and learning. But, I got good guys. They'll work really hard in the offseason, and we'll get back there.
Coach Beckmann's going to have Barbara Streisand at his first practice next year.
Wow.
Great. What day is that?
It just went right over Ross's.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Way We Were. He said, we'll get back to the way we were.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that a famous song of hers?
Jim, what do you think of that joke?
It kind of went over my head,
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
I'm not the brightest guy. So.
No, it has nothing to do about brains or anything. I thought it was clever, but I guess not.
It was so clever that we missed it. That's the problem. It was too clever. Jim and I both need a little more direct.
So didn't you mention earlier this year that technically you could be a 9-man football team?
Yeah, actually the last 2 cycles, so every 2 years the high school league, looks at what enrollment is. So 4 years ago we're actually a 9-man team. We opted to play Class A. This year again, I got the phone call from Mr. Friesen in March. You want to go to 9-man or you want to stay at 11-man? And we've opted to stay up at 11-man. So,
but Jim, I remember you talking a little bit about this earlier. I mean, where would you play? Because it's a different field, right?
Yeah. So, I think there's some logistics issues with it. One, I know nothing about 9-man football, so I'd have to get really smart, and that might be a challenge. And the other thing is, where are we going to play? I'm not sure Faribault High School wants us, marking off 6 or 7 yards to make the field narrower.
Yeah, all you got to do is put chalk down
for 9-man games, and then then we're probably traveling much farther would be my guess, because I'm not sure how many 9-man teams are down here, so we might have to be going even farther to play our games than we already do.
You'd probably be going down to my old neck of the woods, Kingsland, Spring Valley.
Yep.
They're 9-man now.
Yep, well, we played them last year, first round of the playoffs. They did the same thing. They knew they were going back to 9-man, played 9-man the regular season, and then they had to play 11-man for the playoffs, just because that's.
And now they're playing 9-man football. They just won the section last night.
Yep. So, I mean, there's some logistics challenges with that. So, and maybe if we, keep looking at enrollment at Bethlehem Academy and we have, small numbers, maybe that's something we'll have to do, somewhere down the road. But I think we compete pretty well at 11-man.
I don't think there's any question.
Last 4 years, so I don't really see a big driving need to change it. So we're competitive and kids compete, so we'll just keep going.
Just need to build those numbers a little bit.
Yep, just I gotta work those kids and get them to go after their friends and convince them to come out and play, because I hope the kids have fun playing football with myself and the coaching staff and their teammates, and they get enjoyment out of it and build that camaraderie and teammates.
Royal mentioned a banquet for the tennis team. You guys do that sort of thing?
We don't do a banquet. We used to do that, but boy, it's a lot of logistics. And my parents, who already do a pasta dinner before every game, the night before, they do pasta and desserts and feed all the players. So that'd be one more that probably would fall on my parents to do. So we just get together in the Van Orso Auditorium and we'll present awards. I think I've got it set for the 4th of December. It's a Sunday afternoon. By then, hopefully all the awards will be in, and we can recognize the great performance from a lot of these young men. So
what are some of the awards? Most improved, or what?
Yeah, so obviously there's district level awards. All district, honorable mention at district. Some of my favorites are the academic awards, academic all district. I think I'm going to have 8 or 9 guys this year, which you got to have a 3.5 or above, which I think we earned the high school league, the all academic team, silver award. So it's between a 3 and a 3.5 team GPA, which is a challenge when you're lumping all your guys together.
Absolutely.
So we got those, and then there'll be some internal team awards. We do, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
So do the players vote on those?
Yep. In fact, we'll have our final practice on Tuesday. They'll come in, they'll vote on awards, and then we'll turn in our equipment, and then the seniors, we always do we call it final hit, bring out the big heavyweight dummy, and the seniors get to, say a word if they'd like to, and then they do one last tackle on the tackling dummy to kind of finish their high school careers.
Hey, Royal, would you want to volunteer to be the tackling dummy?
Ooh, that would be good.
Not so much. I mean, I could for one. I mean, just one hit. Because I wouldn't get up after that.
I can tell them to take it easy.
Yeah,
I'm sure they would.
Your wife over here has dollar signs of the insurance policy. No, I'm just kidding.
They couldn't take it easy enough for me to be able to get up after even one hit, I'm sure.
I'm right there with you. These guys are pretty big, pretty strong, and pretty fast. So,
yeah, just think back when you were in high school, how much the game has changed, right, in terms of that strength and speed and all that.
Yeah, I think back to, even when I played in college, nobody went in the weight room. In fact, the St. John's weight room was probably the size of my office. It's like 10 by 12. It had a universal weight machine. I don't even know if it had a bench press with, weights on it. And now all these kids, I think we've talked about, Derek and Elliot Veal, and these guys are, squatting 450, 500, 550 pounds and benching 300. And, I've never even come close to that in my collegiate career. But, everybody's, stepped up their level for competition. I had 5-6 guys going down to ETS. They do speed training down in Rochester. They went every Wednesday for 3 years. That's why a guy like Elliot Vealand has a 35-inch vertical leap, and he's got 4.3 legitimate 40 speed, because these guys work so hard now to be competitive. So, these guys work way, way, way harder than I ever did.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't pump that many weights back in the day, but
weights weren't when I was in high school. We didn't even get weights till I was a junior in high school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And there was 2 barbells for the whole team to share. I mean, that's all we had.
Yeah, it's amazing what high school level athletes do to get ready now. So, and if you don't, you're left behind.
We got a leg machine my senior year. I was a catcher, so after games I'd go in and I'd try to build up I had some bad knees. I remember the coach walking by one day and going, "Kosfeld, what are you doing?" And I'm thinking, what does it look like I'm doing? I didn't say that, of course. I said, well, I'm trying to strengthen up my knees. He said, we got a rule about lifting in season. Remember those rules?
Oh, I remember those days.
They want you to, even leg weights in season, really?
Oh, yeah. Philosophy is changing. People understand now what, strength training can do for you, for your flexibility, for your speed, for your agility. So, we've got guys that just, they work, year round and they hammer it in the weight room. So
and
I'm grateful for that.
As Royal has heard from Jesse Armbruster many times, we've talked about nutrition and how big it is in athletics, and that was never talked about when we were kids.
Yep. Yeah, if you're not eating right, you got to fuel the machine. And if you're eating, Big Macs, every night, well, you're not going to be a top performer on the field. You got to have the right food.
There were no Big Macs when I was a kid either.
Back in my day, sports nutrition was peanut M&Ms because they had the peanut in it for some protein. that was the nutrition of the time.
Yeah, it was never talked about when we were kids. I think that's great that they have all these tools now.
Yep. So obviously it makes everybody has to step up their game if you want to be competitive,
to make them better athletes. And they hopefully take that the rest of their lives. Another life lesson, right, is nutrition.
Yeah, eat well, take care of yourself, continue to exercise, and hopefully you'll have a nice, long, healthy life.
That's the main thing. Well, I know you're going over to St. Olaf.
Yep, we'll go up and watch the Johnnies, and we'll see what happens today.
I got to have that game will be on these airwaves. Roy and Mark will have the call beginning at 12:40. I'll get underway at 12:45 from Gustavus with a Carleton game. Appreciate it, Jim.
All right, thank you much, and we'll talk to you guys next fall.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Come on, visit us once in a while. We're going to kind of miss you, I think. So it'd be nice for you to stop out and tell us about your recruiting efforts, I guess. So, well, good luck on your Johnnies today.
Yep, we'll
Gordy,
see ya.
should we talk a little property management?
Well, you probably have, I don't know,
yeah, we got
20
about a
seconds?
minute. Yeah, we got a minute. So, yes, Royal Ross G&H Properties located in beautiful downtown Faribault in the Depot Square building right across the street from the post office. Let's talk association management today. That's the division or the department that I represent and do the most work in. We manage homeowner associations, condo associations, townhome associations, all the way from Bloomington down to the Faribault area over to as far as Madison Lake. I know one of my counterparts went up to, I think it was Maple Grove this week to talk to an association up there about joining. We also have some management capabilities in the Spicer area. So we got a big footprint, so if you're out there and you're in a homeowners association and you're looking for professional management, give us a call, 507-334-3499, or my direct cell is 507-456-2932. We would love to talk to you about managing your homeowner association and taking a lot of the headaches, the vendors, collecting all the dues, paying all the bills. Take all those headaches away from you, and
do you still get a profit? A good profit in the end? I mean, that's the main reason you're doing it, right?
Well, we hope so. We hope to stay in business anyway. But
no, I mean the other person that's getting your services.
Oh yeah, they nonprofits, HOAs are
all your